Music volume muted.
What is going on, guys? It is me, Raymond, out here. Want to make a video today and want to talk about something that happened in school. And I usually don't talk about these things, but what happened in school was I had this teacher. Okay, let's give him a name. Let's call him Mr. Brian. Now, Mr. Brian, he was sort of a meanhead, like a mean ass. And Mr. Brian would constantly mess with you. He would constantly come in the classroom and pick on you and stuff like that. Well, Mr. Brian, one day, he was a PE coach, okay? And one of the PE coaches, there were two of them. There was Coach Jim, and then there was Coach Brian. Now, Coach Brian, I don't know what was going on in his head at this time, but what was going on in his head was some shit that was going on in his head that I just couldn't figure out. So anyway, we get into school one morning, and he's grumpy, he's bitchy, he's moaning, he's bitching about this and bitching about that, right? Well, aka Mr. Brian, comes into school one morning, and this is going to be kind of a short video. Mr. Brian comes in, and he's all bitchy, right? He's all just messy, and his hair's a mess, he's messed up. Sorry you can't see, I'm out here in the dark, guys, because my friend's in the house and they're talking and I wanted to make the video. So Mr. Brian, he's in there and he's talking. So all of a sudden, he comes out with a bag in his hand. Now you guys can guess where this story is going. He comes out with a bag in his hand. Now, for learning purposes and learning experiences, do not repeat what you hear in my stories, okay? Don't do it. Don't go to school with a bag in your hand because you hear me say this dude had a bag in his hand. So anyway, aka Mr. Brian goes to school. He gets into school, okay? He gets in there. He gets into school. And, he gets into school, right? Mr. Brian gets into school. He's in the school. And all of a sudden, he's just mad. He is just upset. He is just freaking off the wall. He's like, well, I done told you kids. I done told you what I was going to do. I done told you what I was going to do. I told you that if you didn't dress out, I was going to give you a 0. Instantly, he would give somebody a 0. He would even look at you and give you a 0 because you looked at him in the wrong way. So Mr. Brian gave 4 kids a 0. Well, the story gets better. So Mr. Brian gave them all a 0. Fast forward, next day they come back. This dude was going to shoot a bottle rocket into the PE coach's office and shoot him with it. Now, don't do this. Don't go to school and don't shoot teachers and PE coaches with bottle rockets because you hear my story and we're going to do that. No. So the PE coach goes in and we're coming into school the next morning and everybody is having a ball. Everybody's talking. All of a sudden we hear this, the fizz, and all of a sudden we hear a pop, and we hear the PE coach go, oh, fuck, what'd you do that for? And the PE coach is just on the ground. He's on the floor crying. He's like, man, I told you what I was going to do. Remember that 0 you gave me, man? Remember that 0? He's like, man, we could have worked this out. You didn't have to come to school and shoot me with a fucking bottle rocket. So, fast forward, the dude got called up to the office. And the PE coach said, no, it wasn't him. The PE coach lied and said it was not him. So, anyway, the guy got to go home, got to come back to school, and like I said, moral of the story is, don't bring bottle rockets to school, and I'll see you guys later.